A lot of shit went on in that doc, man. If you didn't see it, go watch it for yourself. It's wild, man. It's wild. It's very, very wild, man. Sin, Larry, what's up?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
The second that the Diddy documentary wrapped, nobody waited on critics, headlines, or official reviews anymore. Mase and Camron hit play on their own reaction and instantly flipped the entire energy of the moment. No warm-up, no easing in, just straight pressure from the jump. What was framed as a serious, buttoned-up project quickly turned into a ruthless breakdown that felt like truth flying with no seatbelt. Their energy wasn't messy or emotional, it was sharp and intentional. They laughed at the right spots, paused at the right moments, rewound clips, and pressed the story exactly where it felt the most protected. Every clean edit and silky transition got clocked fast, because when hip-hop history suddenly looks polished where it should feel gritty, warning bells ring loud and theirs were blaring.
I want to talk about a few things. I don't know how many people out there seen this reckoning of Diddy that's out on Netflix, the 50 cents. 50 Cent, people always give me. Cam, it's not 50 cents, it's 50 cents. My man Fifth, executive produced. Really, really good documentary. I would say one of the best music documentaries I've seen since Death Row. As far as, no, I ain't gonna lie about that. But there was some things that went on in there that were a little disturbing to me. And when you see somebody like Kurt Barrows basically talking through this whole documentary.
So I get up and I go in with my papers and go. A girl is giving him a job at the desk.
If you've been around since the 90s and early 2000s, you know the pivotal position, pause, that Kurt Barrows played for Bad Boy. Like, that name was synonymous with Bad Boy. So when he's telling all this information, it's like, that means it's like law.
They didn't shout wild claims or reach for drama. Instead, they pointed at the gaps. Real gaps. And gaps talk. Gaps tell you what a story is trying to slide past without saying out loud. That's why this reaction cut deeper than the documentary itself, because silence and skips explain more than speeches ever could. The funniest moments hit hard because they were precise, not goofy. A pause right before a key sentence. A look when the narrative shifted too clean. A freeze frame that stopped everything cold. Those moments told viewers exactly where to focus, and once your eyes catch it, you can't unsee it. Hip-hop culture values authenticity above everything, and nothing feels more real than experienced voices calling out selective storytelling in real time. No scripts, no filters, just instinct sharpened by years of being in rooms where stories get shaped, trimmed, and negotiated behind the scenes. Before long, their reaction became the main topic. People stopped debating the documentary and started breaking down the response itself. That's influence. That's taking a finished product and turning it back into an open discussion. The streets respect that kind of control. And when Mase and Camron laughed, it wasn't disrespectful or dismissive. It was diagnostic.
You know, when it comes to East Coast basketball, I'm a bad boy. I gotta go with Detroit.
Mase, I'm glad you cleared it up when you said what kind of bad boy you were, because I don't know if that's a good thing to say this week. We're talking about the old Pistons bad boys, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about Detroit. I'm talking about Isaiah.
All right, we gotta be clear.
Basketball bad boy.
All right.
Yeah, you're right, Killer. These days, niggas gotta be clear.
Yeah, that's what I told you. I gotta be clear.
That laugh meant something's missing here. An analysis like that hurts way more than insults because it doesn't attack feelings. It exposes the flaw. As the clips spread everywhere, the breakdown leveled up fast, shifting from straight comedy into real critique. People caught on quick that the jokes weren't random. They were pointing straight at the structure. Not just moments, not just scenes, but the bones of the whole thing. The reactions kept circling one big issue. The doc moved way too fast where it should have slowed down. It chased momentum over meaning, and sure, momentum sells, but meaning sticks. Mase and Cam made that contrast impossible to miss by stopping the tape exactly where the documentary refused to. Every pause felt like a giant question mark hanging in the air. Every replay was a reminder that context isn't optional. When context gets trimmed, memories get reshaped, and once that happens, the story starts walking different. That reshaping isn't always evil or planned. Sometimes it's just convenient, and convenience is the real enemy of completeness. They also stayed on how storytelling changes the second big platforms enter the room.
The first thing I want to bring up real quick was that when Biggie passed away, Puff wanted to give Biggie the biggest funeral ever for somebody in New York, musician-wise ever. And if you was around during that time, the funeral was crazy. You know, they rode through Bed-Stuy, the streets was going crazy. We was like, wow, that's amazing. Kurt Burrows said that once Puff found out how much the funeral was going to cost, he said, nah, Biggie got to pay for that. He got to recoup it. What? What? Wait a minute. Wait. He got to recoup. Yo, I don't even mean to laugh. The nigga got to recoup the funeral? I don't know what kind of game Puff play, but I have no idea how this goes, my nigga. But I never heard no shit like that in my life.
Platforms bring reach, but they also bring comfort limits. Comfort limits decide what stays front and center and what quietly gets pushed aside. Mase and Cam never had to spell out platform politics loud. They showed it instead, and showing always hits harder. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Edits start looking like fingerprints. Transitions tell stories of their own. You begin to understand how narratives get curated. And curated stories aren't fake, they're selective. They tell you exactly what the storyteller values most and what they're willing to let fade. The audience locked in because they recognize the pattern instantly. Fans have watched documentaries clean things up when real lives were messy. They've felt parts go missing because they didn't fit the vibe. They've noticed the silence where aftermath should have been.
Good thing you said bad guy, not bad boy.
I wasn't signing a murder. I said, yo, man, you really, bro, to your credit, man, you really the chosen one, man. Me and Sin was saying you the chosen one, man. Loon went to jail, stopped my nigga Loon. Biggie dead, Craig Mack dead. G Delt went to jail. Damn, murder, you got the instincts.
Bruce Leroy.
Yeah. Damn, the lineup of jail and death over there. You got out of there, man. You got out.
Mase and Cam put words to that feeling with humor sharp enough to travel, land, and stick. Their sarcasm wasn't petty at all, it was explanatory. It broke things down without turning the whole moment into a lecture or killing the vibe. That balance is rare, and that's exactly why it stuck with people. You could laugh, nod, and still learn something at the same time, and that combo hits different. Another layer that kept the responses buzzing was how personal they felt without ever crossing into personal attacks. They didn't drag names for sport or clout. They dragged storylines, and that distinction matters big time. Dragging people shuts conversations down fast, but dragging narratives invites debate. It keeps the air moving instead of choking the room. That choice left the door wide open for fans to step in and add their own observations. People weren't just watching, they were participating. Comments started stacking, moments got time-stamped, patterns got called out. That collective breakdown turned one reaction into a full-on movement of thought. Not chaotic, not forced, just natural and sharp. The biggest moments weren't even loud. They were subtle. The quiet looks, the little nah under the breath, the pauses that lasted just a second longer than expected. Timing is everything. Timing reveals intention. When pacing feels off in a documentary, experienced eyes catch it instantly. Mason and Cam caught it. And once they did, everybody else started seeing it too. That's influence without shouting, influence rooted in truth. By this point, the reaction clips stopped being just content and became a lens.
They're just in time, man. That shit crazy over there. We're total at. I asked her for a friend.
I just smoked it them the other day.
Oh, word 112 good?
Yeah.
All right, y'all got out of there. That's good, man. Glad y'all made it out. What about Dirty Money? You was around. Who was in Dirty Money? Oh, word?
Yeah.
I just remember the name. I don't even know who was really in Dirty Money. That was two girls.
People rewatched the documentary through that lens and found even more gaps. Gaps don't accuse, but they pile up. One missing beat here, one skipped aftermath there, and suddenly the pressure starts building. That pressure doesn't tear culture down, it pushes it forward. It challenges creators to do better next time. That's how culture self-corrects without burning anything down. And that's exactly what this moment felt like. As the buzz settled into steady conversation, the reactions started getting credit for something even bigger. They raised the audience's standards. Viewers weren't just entertained anymore, they were sharper. They learned how to watch, when to pause, and what questions actually matter. That kind of impact sticks. That education came wrapped in jokes, but the lesson hit heavy every time. When veterans treat a report like a case file instead of a movie night experience, it changes how everybody watches. The vibe shifts instantly. The culture got sharper in real time, and you could feel people leveling up their awareness.
Episode 4 is 4 parts to this. It's a producer named Rod who produced the Love album for Puff, the last album that he did a couple years ago. And it was a big story, whatever. I'm gonna skip a lot of shit he said. He said a lot of shit. But Puff had him living with him for 2 years and producing that particular Love album. He got in doing beats for Justin Timberlake, for Puff, so on and so forth. And this guy Rod he's traumatized. He's scared of Puff a little bit, so on and so forth. But he just wanted to really do music, and he knew this could be his opportunity to be enriched, send his family out, make sure his kids got money, his kids got money, to where he didn't even get paid for any of it. So he says, I'm bringing up all that just to give you some of his backstory why he was at Puff's house. What I really wanted to say was this, is that he said he was being drugged while he was there. As many times he fell asleep and didn't know what was going on, and he woke up and it'd be delirious, he said. But this one particular night, or a couple particular nights, he said he was drugged, and when he woke up sore.
I would wake up feeling sore, still not understanding exactly what's, you know what I'm saying?
The f you mean you woke up sore, bro? You woke up sore.
The reactions also broke down something deeper without turning it into a villain speech. They showed how legacy protection usually works, not as some evil master plan, but as a default setting. Big stories get smoothed out to fit wide audiences. Rough edges get sanded down so nobody feels uncomfortable. And sure, sanding removes splinters, but splinters also prove the wood was real. No splinters makes the wood look fake. And Mase and Cam kept pointing at those smooth edges and laughing, because those edges told the real story. The polish felt earned, but it also felt incomplete, or too clean, too careful. And that incompleteness is what made people uneasy. Incomplete became the real concern. Their breakdown reframed the doc as a starting point, not the final word. That reframing was powerful. It invited more voices. It made space for more context. It quietly challenged future projects to go deeper instead of wider. And instead of people demanding chaos, the culture responded by asking smarter questions. That's growth. Growth doesn't always trend the fastest, but it lasts longer. Longevity is what real influence is built on. Another major lesson came through loud and clear: restraint, even while roasting. They cracked jokes, but they never crossed lines that would kill trust. They stayed locked on content, not character. That discipline mattered. Anyone can clown, that's easy, but not everyone can critique. Critique takes understanding. And that understanding was on full display. That's why the reactions didn't fade once the laughs died down. They stayed relevant because they taught something. As more fans chimed in, the conversation evolved. It stopped being about just this one documentary and shifted into something bigger. People started asking real questions. What do we actually want from films now? Not just access, not just production value, but honesty. And that expectation shift, that's the real impact. Not just footage, but context. Not just action, but the aftermath too. That's the shift Mase and Cam locked onto perfectly. They didn't stand there explaining it like a lecture or talking down to anyone. They modeled it in real time. And modeling always moves culture faster than preaching. People don't like being told what to think. No, but they love seeing how to think. By this stage, those savage moments weren't just funny clips anymore. They turned into reference points. People quoted them in group chats, in comment sections, even while debating with others. That's impact that stretches way past the moment. That's when reactions stop being content and start being tools. It became clear the reactions did more than entertain. They recalibrated how stories are received. Once that adjustment clicks, future stories can't move the same way anymore. That's the big game. That's the long game. And the long game always outweighs a quick viral spike. In the end, the most savage part wasn't even the jokes. It was the clarity delivered with a calm smile. Mase and Cam didn't tear anything down or go scorched earth. They peeled it back layer by layer. Peeling back reveals layers. Layers expose choices. Choices reveal values. That chain helps audiences understand media without being spoon-fed conclusions. The reactions trusted viewers to connect the dots on their own, and viewers showed up and did exactly that. That trust strengthened the conversation instead of cheapening it. People didn't walk away angry or confused, they walked away sharper, smarter about editing, smarter about pacing, smarter about how platforms quietly shape narratives, and smarter about how to listen when veterans speak in code. Code exists because straight talk often gets ignored. Code travels farther. Their humor was code, and the culture cracked it fast. This moment also proved something important. Commentary doesn't have to replace content to matter. It can elevate it. The documentary existed, and the reactions expanded it. Expansion is the goal. When content sparks discussion, it gains depth, even if that depth wasn't part of the original plan. If this breakdown gave you a new way to watch and think, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop your thoughts in the comments, and share this with someone who needs the full context. And I'll see you on the next video.